With a particularly hot summer this year, many people may be spending their summer days indoors, binge-watching shows on streaming platforms. Now today, we'll take a look at some of the most talked about K-dramas in August with culture critic Professor Chie Hye-won from Kyung Hee University. Welcome back, Professor Chie.
Hello, Professor.
Hello, good afternoon.
Okay, so let's start with the East Palace, or Donggung in Korean. It was released last month, but it's still doing hot on the charts.
Right.
And this one is set in a Joseon-era palace, and it combines a lot of elements such as occult and also fantasy, and it's also receiving strong response overseas. So what do you think of it?
Right. I think one of the biggest reasons is that the East Palace feels very Korean, but you don't really need to understand the Korean history to enjoy it. So the story takes place in a Joseon-era palace where a man who can fight the spirits and a woman who can hear the dead and to try to uncover a dark secret in the palace. So it combines the beauty and the mystery of the Korean historical drama with fantasy, horror, action and mystery genres that are already popular around the world. So what really makes this drama stands out is that the Korean setting and the culture, and the old palace, the spirits, and the traditional Korean beliefs creates a very distinctive world and the atmosphere. And the cast is another strength. Nam Ju-yeok and No Yun-seo works very well together, and Cho Seung-woo brings a very different kind of energy to and the tension to the story. So even with the fantasy and the visual effects, the characters and their relationships still remain at the center of the drama. So, and I think that the balance is very important in this drama. The genre is familiar and easy to follow, with the Korean setting and cultural elements makes it distinctive. So I believe that combination, along with the strong cast and the great visuals, it is what gives the East Palace such a strong global appeal.
For sure. And you did mention visuals, so we do want to talk about that a little bit more. I mean, as a historical fantasy, it features impressive CGI and also has a very, handmade sets and craftsmanship that's in there in the drama that's getting a lot of attention, right? So do you think this kind of attention to detail is the strength to K-content?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think the attention to the details is one of the great strengths of K-content. So what I like about the East Palace is that it doesn't depends only on CGI. Many of the sets were actually built, and you can see how much work went into the costumes, props, and all the small details. So I think that makes a big difference on screen. So CGI can create amazing images, but the physical sets and the objects make the whole world feel more authentic. So, and they actually give the actors a space they can actually work in, which can make their performance feel more natural. So I think the Korean production are very good at combining these two things, like technology and traditional skills. So it's not just about making a drama look impressive. All these details help the audiences connect more deeply into the story. Actually, the viewers may not notice every small details, but they can feel the differences. So, and I think that's one of the reasons the K-content is known for its high production quality.
And while Donggung is still receiving a lot of attention, now let's shift gears to a drama that's yet to come out. And this one is called Mousetrap. It's a mystery thriller. In Korean, it's Tuji, which would actually literally translate into field mouse. So what is this about? I mean, I hear it's inspired by folklore, Korean folklore, Seora. And actually, we recently talked about Seora on our program as well, because Seora are also being reimagined in literature for the global readers as well. So tell us a bit about this drama. What can we look forward to?
Yeah, Mousetrap Tulji will be released on Netflix on August 28th. So, and I think the idea behind this drama is very, very interesting. It's based on the Korean webtoon, inspired by the oldest Korean story, the Seolhwa, about a mouse that eats a person's fingernails and then turns into that person. So what's interesting is how this drama brings this old story into a modern mystery thriller. So Yoo Jun-yeol plays a writer who finds out that someone called Dulji, rat, has taken his name and basically taken over his entire life. So the story starts with a very simple but scary question. What if someone else suddenly started living your life? And I think that this idea is especially works well today because we live so much of our lives online. So it's now much easier for someone else to copy our personal information or identity or even pretend to be someone else. So I'm especially curious to see how this drama builds the mystery around this idea and how far someone, the rat, Dulji, would go to take another person's life.
Right. I mean, the context is super interesting, but what gets me even more exciting is the cast of the series. So the two main actors are Yoo Jun-yeol and Seol Kyung-kyu, and it's actually generating a lot of attention because it's actually their first time in a one project working together. So looking forward to that. But what kind of chemistry or synergy are you expecting to see between these two actors?
Yeah, right. This is one of the things that I'm most looking forward to, actually. So Yoo Jun-yeol and Seol Kyung-kyu have very different styles as actors. So Yoo Jun-yeol is very good at showing anxiety or doubt and complicated emotions in a very subtle way. And Seol Kyung-kyu, on the other hand, has a very strong presence and brings a lot of energy to the audiences. So their different acting styles could work really well together, I think. So I believe their characters in this drama make this combination more interesting. So they have to work together in the story because they need each other, but there isn't much trust between them. So that naturally creates a lot of tension, and it's probably the chemistry will come from. So it's not really about friendship. It's about two very different characters who have no choice but to become partners, and even though they never feel completely comfortable together. So with the two actors this strong, I believe that an uneasy relationship could create some of the most exciting moments of this drama.
Well, first I thought we were probably maybe going to see some kind of bromance-ship, but after listening to the story, maybe not. Maybe that's not going to happen.
Because
we'll
it's mystery thriller.
Okay, Professor Chie, so which drama or what kind of genre do you think has a lot of global potential going forward would be our final question today.
Okay, if I had to choose, I would say the fantasy and mystery, especially when they are mixed with other genres. So one interesting thing about the K-Contents is that it often brings different genres together. The East Palace, for example, mixes a historical drama with the fantasy, horror, and the mystery. And Mousetrap takes an old Korean story and turns it into a modern thriller. So I think this works very well for the global audiences. So the genres may feel familiar, but there is always something different or unexpected in the story. So Korean creators are actually very good at mixing genres without making the story too complicated. So they keep it interesting and easy to follow. So rather than choosing just one genre, I would say this creative mixing of the different genres, it has a lot of potential in the global markets.
Well, I know what I'm going to be binge watching on in the month of August. And thank you very much, Professor Chie, for your insights today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you, Bella, as always. Have a great weekend and see you next week.
Yes, I'll see you back next week.